So you haven't been back there?
I won't live there ever again. I'll visit Neverland. It's a house now. It's not a home anymore. I'll only visit there. I haven't been betrayed or deceived by children. Adults have let me down.
What is your greatest lesson learned?
Not to trust everybody. Not to trust everybody in the industry. There's a lot of sharks. I'm in pain all the time. See this arm? This is as far as I can reach it. Same with this side over here.
Because of what happened at the police station?
Yeah. I felt inner pain. It was pain in my stomach and in my chest. So I said, I cannot handle this. It's too much.
What hurts you most?
When they lie. The lies. They complete lies. Aren't that being honest, Turtle? I'm being, you know me well enough. I'm being complete.
No, it's not just... I suppose the problem for many people is what happened in 1993, or what didn't happen.
What didn't happen?
You said in that documentary that many children have slept in your bedroom. You said,
yes.
and I'm going to quote here, why can't you share your bed? The most loving thing to do is to share your bed with someone.
Yes.
As we sit here today, do you still think that it's acceptable to share your bed with children?
What is a 36-year-old man doing sleeping with a 12-year-old boy, or a series of them?
When Gavin was there, he talked about the fact that he shares your bedroom.
Yes.
Can you understand why people would worry about that?
Because they're ignorant.
But is it really appropriate for a 44-year-old man to share a bedroom with a child who is not related to him at all?
It's very loving. That's what the world needs now. More love, more.
The world needs
heart.
a man who's 44 sleeping in a bed with children.
No, you're making it all wrong.
And the thing is with Michael is that he's not very good at explaining himself, and he never really has been, because he's not a very social person. I mean, you're talking about someone who's been sheltered and sheltering himself also for the last like 30 years, or and so he's not very good at communicating to people and not very good at conveying what he's actually trying to say to you. And so when he says something like that, people, he doesn't quite understand why people react the way that they do.
If you're going to be a pedophile, if you're going to be Jack the Ripper, if you're going to be a murderer, it's not a good idea. That I'm not. That's how we were raised. And I didn't sleep in the bed with the child. Even if I did, it's okay. I slept on the floor. I gave the bed to the child.
But isn't that precisely the problem, that when you actually invite children into your bed, you never know what's going to happen?
But when you say bed, you're thinking sexual. They make that sexual. It's not sexual.
But
we're going to sleep. I tuck them in. I put a little music on, and do a little storytelling. I read a book. It's very sweet. Put the fireplace on. We give them hot milk. We have little cookies. It's very charming. Very sweet.
Sure.
It's what the whole world should do.
Do you know how this looks to a lot of people? I mean, do you understand that?
How does what look?
How the fact that you...
Why people think sex. They're thinking sex. My mind doesn't run that way. When I see children, I see the face of God. That's why I love them so much. That's what I see.
If you're talking about sex, then that's a nut. That's not me. Go to the guy down the street, because it's not Michael Jackson. It's not what I'm interested in.
It's people with a dirty mind that think like that. I don't think that way. That's not me.
And do you think people look at you and think that way today?
If they have a sick mind, yeah. And if they believe the trash they read newspapers, yeah.
Help me.
Because what's wrong with sharing a love? You don't sleep with your kids or some other kid who needs love, who didn't have a good childhood?
No, I don't. I would never dream of sleeping. I would never dream.
Because you've never been where I've been, mentally.
You've got 3 children.
Yes.
Would you allow your children to sleep in the bed with a grown man who was not a relative?
Well, what's wrong with sharing your bed? I didn't say I slept in the bed. Even if I did sleep in the bed, it's okay. I am not going to do anything sexual to a child. It's not where my heart is. I would slit my wrist first. I would never do anything like that. That's not Michael Jackson, I'm sorry. That's someone else.
And even though I think most people understand this is not like a twin-size bed, this is probably some gigantic bed.
It was bigger than the building we're in. When you talk about Michael Jackson's bedroom, you're talking about a building that's bigger than where we are filming today. I mean, this was a huge, huge area. And Parents would stay on the bed. Sisters would stay on the bed. Brothers would stay on the bed. It wasn't at all what the prosecution was trying to spin it as being.
Who's the criminal? Who's Jack the Ripper in the room?
I just wonder, is it over? You're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. I think this is really the
what
key
over?
thing people want to know, that there are not going to be more of these sleepovers in which people have to wonder.
Nobody wonders when kids sleep over at my house.
But are
Nobody
they
wonders.
over? Are you going to watch out for it now?
Watch out for
just
what?
for the sake of the children and for
No,
everything
because
you've been through?
it's all moral and it's all pure. I don't even think that way. It's not what's in my heart. I am not going to do anything sexual to a child. It's not where my heart is. I would slit my wrist first. I would never do anything like that. That's not Michael Jackson, I'm sorry. That's someone else.
Just cast your mind back. What was that like when you first heard the allegations that were being made against you?
I was shocked because God knows in my heart how much I adore children.
He was having trouble sleeping. He was having trouble with depression. He was having trouble with anxiety.
What is your response to the allegations that were brought by the district attorney in Santa Barbara that you molested this boy?
Totally false.
Your knowledge, Mr. Jackson, were you ever accused of having sexually molested Brett Barnes?
Won't answer that.
You have said that you would never harm a child. I want to be specific as I can. Did you ever, as this young boy said you did you ever sexually engage, fondle, have sexual contact with this child or any other child?
Never, ever. I could never harm a child or anyone. It's not in my heart. It's not who I am. And it's not what I'm not even interested in that.
So if you were innocent, why would you pay? I mean, to keep it quiet. I mean, why not go into court and fight for your good name?
I'm not allowed to talk on that.
Sure.
There we go.
The reason that's been given for why you didn't go to jail was because you reached a financial settlement with the family.
Yeah. The
Why
whole
did you
thing is a
settle the
lie.
case then? Why did you settle the case? And it looks to everyone as if you paid a huge amount of money.
Most of that's
To get
folklore.
silent.
Remember what happened to him 10 years ago. He was humiliated. He went through where somebody was examining him, was photographing him, was having him, humiliating him in the worst way in terms of looking at his private parts and photographing his private parts. And he was subjected to some of the most just intrusive kinds of things that you could ever imagine. I can only try to put myself into that situation and say, look, if money could make that situation go away, maybe that was the calculus then. I don't know, and I don't want to second guess it.
I don't want to do a long, drawn-out thing on TV like OJ and all that stupid stuff. And it wouldn't look right. I just said, look, get this over with. I want to go on with my life. This is ridiculous. I've had enough. Go. I talked to my lawyers, and I said, can you guarantee me that justice will prevail? And they said, Michael, we cannot guarantee you that a judge or a jury will do anything. And with that, I was like catatonic. I was outraged.
How much money
Totally
was it?
outraged. So what I said, I have got to do something to get out from under this nightmare. All these lies and all these people coming forward to get paid in these tabloid shows, just lies, 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 lies. So what I did, we got together again with my advisors, and they advised me, it was hands down, a unanimous decision, resolve the case. This could be something that could go on for 7 years.
How much
We
money
said,
was
let's get it behind us.
Michael Jackson told me in no uncertain terms that settling that case in 1994 was the biggest mistake he'd ever made. He should never have settled it. He should have fought it through a trial. He would have won. It was an absurd case. He followed his advisors', suggestions. He paid money. And what it really did was it opened Pandora's box, because suddenly everybody on the planet began suing him, thinking they could make an easy buck suing Michael Jackson. I mean, employees were suing him. People he met on the street were suing him. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Greed, money, somewhere greed got in there, and somebody, I can't quite say, but it has to do with money. It's Michael Jackson. Look what we have here. We get money out of this. That's exactly what happened.
What I don't understand is why today, and I know you say it's money, but who? I mean, why would he turn around and say, Michael Jackson sexually molested me, if it weren't true?
Because parents have power over children. They feel they have to do what their parents say. But money is the root of all evil, as you know. The love of money is the root of all evil. And this is a sweet child, and to see him turn like this isn't him. This is not him.
So you don't think this comes from him, this comes from his parents?
No, this is not him. No, I know his heart.
There was a fifth alleged victim who testified, who said that Michael Jackson had been playing with him and had gone too far and touched his testicles, and he needed 5 years of therapy after it. And during the first therapy session, the DA was present. And he also admitted he wanted money from him, and his mother wanted money from Jackson, and his mother went to a tabloid and sold the story as well.
And it didn't take me very long to conclude he would never harm a child. He would never molest a child. This made no sense, that he was just a target of opportunism of various forms. Prosecutors wanted to be stars. People wanted to sue him. If he were convicted, he would be disabled. Anybody and their mother's uncle could file a lawsuit. How would he defend himself in prison? I mean, I realized what a phenomenal target he was. He was the most famous person on the planet. He was one of the wealthiest people on the planet. He owned the catalog, which included Beatles music and other great artists. I mean, he was such a target, and he was also perceived as not someone who would want to fight a case. He was perceived as very gentle, very childlike, very creative, someone who danced to their own drummer. And he was just such a phenomenal target. I don't think in my lifetime I'll ever see a bigger target for opportunists than Michael Jackson.
This is a kid you knew.
Yes.
How would you characterize your relationship with this boy?
I've helped many, many, many children, thousands of children. Cancer kids, leukemia kids. This is one of many. When I first saw him, he was totally bald-headed, white as snow from the chemotherapy, very bony, looked anorexic, no eyebrows, no eyelashes. And he was so weak, I would have to carry him from the house to the game room or push him in a wheelchair to try to give him a childhood, a life, because I felt bad. Because I never had that chance too as a child, and so I know it felt like in that way, not being sick, but not having had a childhood. So my heart go out to those children. I feel their pain. So I have this tree that I have at Neverland. I call it my giving tree because I like to write songs up there. I've written many songs up there. So I said, you have to climb a tree. That's part of boyhood. You just got to do it. And I helped him up. And once he went up the tree, we looked down on the branches, and it was so beautiful. It was magical. And he loved it. To give him a chance to have a life, because he was told he was going to die. They told him, they told his parents to prepare for his funeral. That's how bad it was. And I put him on a program. I've helped many children doing this. I put them on a mentor program.
An arrest warrant for Mr. Jackson has been issued on multiple counts of child molestation. The bail amount on the warrant has been set at $3 million.
If Michael Jackson's watching this right now, what's your message?
Get over here and get checked in. We would encourage him to turn himself in and cooperate with law enforcement. At 12:05 today, Michael Jackson was taken into custody.
He surrendered to authorities and was booked on child molestation charges of lewd and lascivious conduct with a child. What was going through your mind when you're taken into a police station in handcuffs to have a mug shot taken that you know was going to be shown around the world?
They did it to try and belittle me, to try and to take away my pride. But I went through the whole system with them. And at the end, I wanted the public to know that I was okay, even though I was hurting.
Poor Michael was not built for a situation like this. You have to understand what the charges are. First of all, understand that Michael was one of the most sensitive, one of the most generous, one of the kindest people I've ever met. He was an exquisitely sensitive person. I mean, he was just an artist like you can't. He never took a dance lesson, and he was very, very sensitive. What was he facing in the courtroom? First of all, the prosecution claimed he had masterminded a criminal conspiracy. He was the mastermind, they said, to abduct children, to falsely imprison a family, and to commit criminal extortion. Now, they tried to make him look like a big mobster type, which is utterly ridiculous. Michael Jackson would no more know how to even think about extorting someone, falsely imprisoning a family. It's utterly ridiculous, but they charged him with that. They also charged him with attempted child molestation. They charged him with child molestation, and they claimed in the last 3 counts of the indictment that he had taken a cancer-stricken child and plied that child with alcohol, which he knew would hurt the child's health, in order to prepare that child to be molested. These were the most malicious charges, if you think about it.
What happened when they arrested you? What did they do to you?
They were supposed to go in and just check fingerprints and do the whole thing that they do when they take somebody in. They manhandled me very roughly. My shoulder is dislocated, literally. It's hurting me very badly. I'm in pain all the time. See this arm? This is as far as I can reach it. Same with this side over here.
Because of what happened at the police station?
Yeah, at the police station. And what they did to, if you saw what they did to my arms, it was very bad what they did. It was very swollen, I want to say.
We were given this photograph said to be taken after Michael Jackson was released on bail. Jackson says the swelling above his wrist is where the police handcuffed him. How did they do it? I mean, what did they do?
With the handcuffs, the way they tied them too tight behind my back.
Behind your back?
Yeah, and they put it in a certain position knowing that it's going to hurt and affect my back. It keeps me from sleeping at night. I can't sleep at night.
He was having trouble sleeping. He was having trouble with depression. He was having trouble with anxiety.
What time is it? Because I'm hurting. I don't feel good.
And he did lose weight. He did, his cheeks, that last day of court, the verdict day, his cheeks were just sunken in. The poor fellow just looked emaciated. He looked pale as a ghost. He looked just debilitated. I mean, I think he was frozen with fear. And because, look, he went home after trial each day. He was out on bond, out on bail. And he would turn on the TV like everybody else. And all he'd see was, bad day for the defense, bad day for the defense, bad day for Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's in trouble. Michael Jackson's going to be convicted. And this wore on him because it went on for about 5 months. We started in January of 2005. We ended June 13th, 2005. That's a long trial, 5 days a week. There were a few breaks in between, but it was a devastatingly harsh experience for Michael Jackson.
How did you feel when they went into Neverland? I mean, with a search warrant. I mean, what were they looking for? What did they take?
My room is a complete wreck. My workers told me, they said, Michael, don't go in your room. They were crying on the phone, my employees. They said, if you saw your room, you would cry. And they had 80 policemen in this room, 80 policemen in one bedroom. That's really overdoing it. And they took knives and cut open my mattresses with knives. Just cut everything open. And I don't think I want to see it. I'm not ready to see it yet.
So you haven't been back there?
I've been back there, but not in my bedroom. I won't live there ever again. I'll visit Neverland. It's a house now. It's not a home anymore. I'll only visit there. I don't care to stay in America anymore, no. I don't care. I will always have Neverland, you know, because I love Neverland. But I don't like, I'm very sensitive to the smog, you know, so I can't have the smog.
I felt he should leave Neverland. And that did not go over so well because he loved Neverland. He loved what he created. He had created the most idyllic, beautiful, magical, enchanting place to live. You kind of had to be there during the day and you had to be there at night. At night, he had strategically placed lights at various parts of Neverland. He was playing Disney-like music It was such a beautiful place. The animals, the zoo, the amusement park. You have one of the greatest creative geniuses on the planet using his enormous talents and creativity to create an environment to live in that he just felt so at home at. So I said, look, you got to leave here. I said, every place in life has a start and a finish. I said, I don't trust the prosecution. They've been humiliated before the whole world. You know, they thought there was no way they could lose this case. And they're going to be gunning for you. They're going to be looking for something to come after you on. Some child is going to wander through a fence and they're going to say the kid was molested. They're going to come up with something. I said, I don't think you can live in peace here.
What do you get out of this? What do you get out of this?
But given all that you've been through, given the allegations, given the innuendo, why would you put yourself in a position where something like this could happen again?
Well, I'm always more cautious, but I would never stop helping and loving people the way Jesus said to. He said, continue to love, always love, bring on the children, imitate the children, not childish, but childlike. Jesus said, bring on the children, imitate children, you know, be like little children, and to take care of others. I love to do things for children, and I try to imitate Jesus, and I'm not saying I am Jesus, I'm not saying, we're trying to imitate Jesus in the fact that he said to be like children, to love children, to be as pure as children are, and to make yourselves as innocent and see the world through eyes of wonderment and the whole magical quality of it all. And I love that. And we have the children, like we'll have like 100 bald-headed children here who they all have cancer, and they're running around and they're enjoying themselves, and it just made me cry happy tears that I was able to do that. Jesus said to love the children and be like children, be youthful and be innocent and be pure and honorable. He was talking to his apostles, and they were fighting over who's the greatest among themselves, and he said, whoever humbled yourself like this child is the greatest among me. And he always surrounded himself with children. And that's how I was raised, to believe and to be like that and to imitate that. So I don't know what you're trying to make out. In my life, I have only tried to help thousands upon thousands of children to live happy lives. It brings tears to my eyes when I see any child who suffers. I am not guilty of these allegations, but if I am guilty of anything, it is of giving all that I have to give to help children all over the world. If I am guilty of anything, it is of believing what God said about children. Suffer little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of heaven. In no way do I think that I am God, but I do try to be God-like in my heart. I am totally innocent of any wrongdoing.
Michael Jackson had an affinity for children. He never had a childhood. He wanted to be good to children because he had the financial resources to do it. He built an amusement park. He built a zoo. He invited inner city children. He invited disabled children. He did so many good things. And to try and turn that around into making him a horrendous criminal was really tragic. And I think it had a lot to do with shortening his life.
You don't think Michael Jackson has molested one single person?
I do not. I absolutely do not.
What's it like to have the kids there? Why do you do that? I wanted to ask you that question that day, but I pose it to you now. Why? Why do you, when you see those kids, tell me what's going on.
Because I think I've traveled the world over 8 times around the world, and I go to I do as many hospitals and orphanages as I do concerts. But of course it's not covered. That's not why I do it for coverage. I do it because it's from my heart. And there are so many children in the cities who've never seen mountains, who haven't been on a carousel, who haven't petted a horse or a llama, who've never seen them. So if I can open my gates, and those gates open, and that bliss, an explosion of screaming and laughter from the children, and they run past the bridge, they run on the rides, I say, thank you, God. I feel I won God's smile of approval, you know, because I'm doing something that brings joy and happiness to other people. People say, why is he always with children? Well, I was raised in a world with adults. When kids were playing in bed sleeping at night, I was up doing clubs. I was doing club dates, 3 in the morning. The striptease would come on after us. You know, I was were performing, and we didn't have friends. My brothers were like my friends, but we worked. There was no Christmas, there were no birthdays, and we were very strict Jehovah's Witnesses. So I'm compensating. Nature made sure that I compensated for the lost. So when you come behind my gate, you'll see amusement parks, you'll see animals, you'll see everything I never got to do. There's candy everywhere.
Do you think it would be true to say that you found friendship and inspiration in children that you haven't been able to find in adults?
That's absolutely true.
Really?
Yes. Yes. I haven't been betrayed or deceived by children. Adults have let me down. Adults have let the world down.
Do you think that your success has actually made people turn against you?
The bigger the star, the bigger the target. And the more popular I became, the more rumors that were created, none of which were true.
The prosecution, directly and indirectly, overtly and subtly, were trying to attack Michael Jackson's sexuality. They were calling him a pedophile. They were calling him asexual sometimes. They were suggesting he was gay. They were doing anything they could to try and alienate him from the jury in that location, in that part of Santa Barbara County, which tends to be very conservative. And it was nasty and degrading and malicious what they were doing, but I knew what they were doing. Somebody had told these prosecutors, whenever you can, use the phrase sleeping with little boys, sleeping with little boys, sleeping with little boys, anything to dehumanize Michael Jackson.
And it's not, just remember something, just because it's in print doesn't mean it's the gospel. People write negative things because they feel that's what sells. Good news to them doesn't sell.
At every opportunity, the media has dissected and manipulated these allegations to reach their own conclusions. I ask all of you to wait and hear the truth before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like a criminal, because I am innocent.
10 felonies and 4 misdemeanors. They didn't get him on anything.
The idea just isn't fair, what they put me through, because there wasn't one piece of information that says I did that. In any way, they turned my room upside down, went through all my books, all my videotapes, all my private things, and they found nothing that can say Michael Jackson did this. Nothing. But let me ask you
To
a
this
couple
day,
of questions.
nothing.
Still nothing.
Let me ask
Nothing,
you a couple.
nothing.
Because I know eventually the truth will prevail, and I'm about truth, you know?
Remember, the prosecution called witnesses to say they saw Macaulay being molested at Neverland by Michael. Macaulay gets on the stand and says he never molested me at any time. We're dear friends. We share a lot. We have a lot in common. He would never do a thing like this.
I made a list of things. When I get angry enough, I write down what I want to say and what I want to talk about to set the record straight. Because you get to a point where you get tired of people lying. I get tired of situations like this, where people completely lie on me, and I'm sick of it. There have been many disgusting statements made recently concerning allegations of improper conduct on my part. These statements about me are totally false. As I have maintained from the very beginning, I am hoping for a speedy end to this horrifying experience to which I have been subjected.
By the way, let me say this also. I meet with Macaulay and his lawyer that evening. The next morning I get up, I'm getting dressed for court, I turn on the television, and here's one of the major networks, and their reporter is saying, we've learned that Macaulay Culkin is not going to show up to court today, that his agents, his producers, his directors, his lawyers are all telling him he has nothing to gain, and he has refused to testify. And here I was with him the night before, knowing full well I'm calling him to the stand that day. That just tells you what happens when you look at the media and when you're dealing with reality as opposed to the media.
The judge did something I've never seen happen in a case like this. With respect to 3 of those alleged 5 victims, he allowed witnesses to come in and say they saw them molested without the prosecution having to bring the actual alleged victims in. Okay? So they did that. They put on 3 guards who had worked at Neverland to say they saw these 3 people molested. One of them, Macaulay Culkin, okay, the actor. All right? Now, those three guards had sued Michael Jackson, claiming that he wrongfully terminated them. He had cross-complained, saying that they had stolen property from him. It was the longest civil trial in the history of Santa Maria. They lost their case. Jackson won his cross-complaint. He had $1 million judgment against all of them. There were judicial findings of fraud against all of them. They had gone to the tabloids and sold stories, and the three people they say they saw molested, they were my first three witnesses. They came in and said they were never touched. So when that happens, I think we were able to effectively take all of us and say, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you can't believe these prosecutors. You can't believe their case. You know, they'll say anything to try and win. Now, the one you're talking about never showed up. He's the one who got a settlement in the early 90s. Now, my understanding is the prosecutors tried to get him to show up, and he wouldn't. If he had, I had witnesses who were going to come in and say he told them it never happened, and that he would never talk to his parents again for what they made him say, and it turned out he had gone into court and gotten legal emancipation from his parents. His mother testified that she hadn't talked to him in 11 years. So, you know, there was a problem there as well.
Years ago, I allowed a family to visit and spend time at Neverland. Neverland is my home. I allowed this family into my home because they told me their son was ill with cancer and needed my help. Through the years, I helped thousands of children who were ill or in distress. These events have caused a nightmare for my family, my children, and me. I never intend to place myself in so vulnerable a position ever again. I love my community, and I have great faith in our justice system. Please keep an open mind and let me have my day in court. I deserve a fair trial like every other American citizen. I will be acquitted and vindicated when the truth is told.
Anything else you'd like to say?
No. Yes, there's something. I would love to have the public's prayers for my children and myself.
When the last not guilty came down, I said to Michael, "You're free." And he said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." We hugged, all the defense team hugged, and then we left the courthouse.
Michael, what would you say to your fans who have supported you through all of this and who today, some of them might have questions? What would you say to them?
Well, I would tell them I love them very much, and they've learned about me and know about me from a distance. But if you really want to know about me, there's a song I wrote, which is the most honest song I've ever written. It's the most autobiographical song I've ever written. It's called Childhood. And thank you for your support, the fans around the world. I love you with all my heart. Take any of it for granted, any of it. And I love them dearly, all over the world.
I'm going to put it right where I had it before. I don't want
to. Count 1, verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of conspiracy as charged in count 1 of the indictment, dated June 13th, 2005, four-person number 8. Count 2, verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of a lewd act upon a minor child as charged in count 2 of the indictment, dated June 13th, 2005, four-person number 80. Count 3, verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of a lewd act upon a minor child as charged in count 3 of the indictment, dated June 13th, 2005, four-person number 80. Count 4, verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of lewd act upon a minor child as charged in count 4 of the indictment, dated June 10th, 2005, four-person number 80. Count 5, verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of a lewd act upon a minor child as charged in Count 5 of the indictment, dated June 10, 2005, for person number 80. Count 6, verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of attempting to commit a lewd act upon a minor child as charged in Count 6 of the indictment, dated June 13, 2005, for person number 80. Count 7,